I think this was the first race all season that tires actually mattered. I'm going to eat a little bit of crow because me and Tom
Yep.
came on here last week and we said this race is going to suck because tires aren't going to mean anything. Track position is going to mean the world. And it was the complete opposite. This was
Yep.
probably the best race we've seen in the last 7 weeks of NASCAR. This was an awesome race from start to finish. We saw strategy included. We saw tires mean something. We saw comers and goers. This was a fantastic race. I was so impressed. We've seen just terrible races, right? Chicago, of course, if it wasn't for Shane Van Gisbergen winning, that race really was terrible. Atlanta, we've beat that horse till it's dead. I mean, that race was terrible. What did we have in the last few weeks? We had, I mean, I can't even remember because they sucked. They were terrible races. Nothing memorable, right? And we finally get a
Pocono.
Pocono. Yeah, terrible race from start to finish. And then we finally get an amazing race. And honestly, I would love to see a race like, I would love to see road courses, and I would also love to see racetracks like Richmond, like Pocono, any of these ovals that include strategy to have no stage cautions. Because if we have no stage cautions, we have one caution all race, and this race becomes amazing. I mean, what are your thoughts on taking away stage cautions at these type of strategy ovals?
Yeah, absolutely. I think okay, I think it's okay to do like the points deal, at this lap, we'll do what we do on road courses where no caution, but we are going to keep track of where everybody finished, and we will hand out points. Fine, whatever. But stop I wanted this was a perfect opportunity for NASCAR to say, okay, let's test something here. Let's do what we do at the road courses, and no stage cautions. Just let them keep running, and see how it plays out. Because we know how great. I mean, Richmond was a great race, and like what you said, you eating crow, I'll eat crow too, and I am happy to do it because this was a great race. It really was. But it could have been a great opportunity for NASCAR to go ahead and say, let's test something. Let's test it without the stage cautions. Let's just keep going and see how this works out. And it could have been a completely different race. I don't know. And then I'd be eating crow on no more or to stop stage cautions, and I would have been fine with that. I would have gladly eaten crow with that as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's
thoroughly thrilled.
That's all I can
Thoroughly
say.
thrilled. I think this was a top 5 race of the season. I mean, 500 was
For sure.
amazing because it's 500. You never know what's going to happen. Talladega was a good race for the most part
Yeah.
at the end, and then the 600 was a great race this year. I mean, there was a lot of action in that race, strategy as well. And then I think I'd put this one right up there with those guys. I mean, this was one of the best races of the season. It was awesome, and I know the fan reception on it's terrible because they want these manufactured cautions and wrecks and stuff, but that's not racing. That's not NASCAR. This was old school NASCAR. This was awesome. This was a great race, and I don't think honestly, if they could bring back the tire compound they had, they could bring back whatever they did this weekend. Just do all of that again. Let's bring that back and let's try it again. Because let's not touch it. Let's not touch it. Let's not mess with the aero package. Nothing. This was a great race. We saw people being able to pass under green. We saw Buescher and Keselowski running right with each other for laps, and Buescher they were just so identical. Buescher couldn't get around it, but he was picking him off one by one, just trying to do it. We saw Bubba Wallace drive from like 8th to the lead early in this race. I mean, we saw racing action and strategy involved as well. One of the best races of the season, and I am glad that I was wrong. I am 100% glad I was wrong.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I want to be wrong, right? That's why we're so critical on racing, is because we know what we want to see. We know what they need to do, and then we come out here and tell you what's going to happen. And if we're right, we're going to brag about it. But if we're wrong, we're going to come up here and be like, "Yep, I'm glad we were wrong," because ultimately that's all we want is the health of racing. That's what we love. So,
Yep.